everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a very long time and I hope you're all doing well. I have quite a lot to tell you guys today, so grab some popcorns, grab a cup of coffee and enjoy my video. First of all, this is my Icelandic cup. It's written Ek tala ekki íslensku, which means I don't speak Icelandic. And why do I understand this? Well, nå at jeg snakker norsk kan jeg forstå litt svensk, islandsk, dansk, fordi de nordiske språkene veldig like mellom hverandre. Yes, that was me speaking Norwegian, because in basically these past 10 months I've been learning the Norwegian language. Now I must say I'm quite fluent at it and I actually really like it. Why do I speak Norwegian? That's a very long story. That's why I have the feeling this will be a very long video. So what did I say before? Grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me, you should really follow me at italian.abroad. Well, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've posted this question: should I stay in Switzerland or should I move to Norway? Well, that's something that basically I've thought about for the past year, from October last year, October 2019, and I'm gonna tell you why now. I've been living in Switzerland for 7.5 years, almost 8 now, and I loved Switzerland from the first moment. I think I've been so lucky to have the possibility to live in Switzerland. I've had a very good life in Switzerland. I've worked really hard to stay here, and I've enjoyed the country a lot, and I've traveled a lot in Switzerland. Up until last year, I think I were traveling a lot, but I was never traveling in Switzerland. I was taking a plane every other weekend to fly somewhere else in Europe. I didn't really travel in Europe only, I traveled also outside of Europe, but most of the time I was really not staying in Switzerland. I didn't realize it until actually the 4th of October 2019, where I just organized a weekend in Oslo, Norway. So we flew there. It was very cold, but the city was absolutely beautiful. And there was one moment where I was walking on the top of this beautiful building, which is the Oslo Opera House, and there were these new apartment buildings next to it, and I was thinking I could live here, and immediately I was like, whoa, what? Why would I want to live here? I'm pretty happy in Switzerland. I was actually kind of upset from this thought. After 7 years, it was really the first time that I wished to be living somewhere else rather than Switzerland. For me, it was a bit weird. So I was like, okay, maybe my brain is just frozen because it's so cold and I cannot think properly. So I just put this thought aside, and I've had really a great weekend. But then when I went back to Switzerland on the Monday, I kept thinking, like, why did I wish to live in Oslo? Am I not happy in Switzerland? And then I start realizing how I haven't really been in Switzerland for the past year, because I was just going to work, and then on the weekend I was just flying somewhere else, and I realized that yes, I like Switzerland very much, but I don't necessarily see myself living in Switzerland forever. I don't see myself going back to Italy either right now, and I really like Switzerland, but on the other side, I think that there are some aspects of the Swiss culture which I really struggle to accept, I really struggle to live with. For the past 2 years, I've wished a little bit more in my life. In all my travels, I never wished to live in the place that I was visiting. So for me, it was very weird. I didn't know anything about Norway, so I was kind of upset from the thought of I want to live in Oslo, because I really didn't know anything about Norway. Kind of start researching, and I started to talk with a friend that knew Norway very well. He basically told me, if you want a job in Norway, you have one, I can give you one. And I was like, whoa, or like I don't know if I really want to move to Norway. Just out of fun, I kind of start researching about Norway, about Oslo, about the Norwegian culture in general, but I still was living in Switzerland. I had my job and I really didn't want to move anywhere else. So on one side, I didn't really want it to leave Switzerland, but on the other side, I was really intrigued by this thought of I would live in Oslo, and that's why I decided to go back to Oslo on the first week of December, because one thing I knew about Norway, and that is a very, very, very cold country. And there is one thing I know by myself, and that is that I hate being cold, and I am always cold all the time. Like, I'm cold in Switzerland, that is not really a cold country. So how could I live in Oslo that is 10 times colder than Switzerland? I decided, okay, let's go to Norway again one more time when it's really, really, really cold, and let's see how this cold is, if it's really the kind of cold that you can stand. I went the first week of December, which was around -10 degrees. It was so fun because it was very different for me, and it was cold, but it was not that cold if you had the proper clothes. I was fine with the cold. I was kind of fine with the darkness, but still, like, between thinking, oh, I would like to live here, and oh, I leave everything that I have in Switzerland and just move to Norway, it's some other thing. I was really intrigued by Norway, and I knew that if I wanted, I already had a job there. But on the other side, well, like, I had a pretty good job in Switzerland up until January 2020, when basically my boss told us that our department was going to close, so we were going to have a job only until mid-2020. That's why I thought, this is destiny. The fate is telling me that I have to move to Norway. February 2020, I start to pack up my things, start to organize Norway. I know I have a job there. I knew there was this person helping me with the apartments there. I was actually really, really, really happy. I thought, yes, this is destiny. I have to go to Norway. Well, I don't really think now that this was destiny, because exactly when I took holidays from work to start moving my stuff to Norway, the stuff that I had already packed, coronavirus. All the borders closed for an indefinite amount of time. I basically had all my stuff packed and the borders closed. I could not leave Switzerland. I could not enter Norway. I was basically stuck at home. Now that I think about it, I think fate was trying to tell me something. But I was very convinced with moving to Norway. This pandemic is not gonna stop me. So what do? I start learning Norwegian. All the schools were closed, so all Norwegian classes were held online. So I just started learning Norwegian. This is basically the reason why now I speak so good Norwegian. I was at home doing nothing basically, so I was studying Norwegian 8 hours a day. So I'm learning Norwegian. I'm waiting to move to Norway. The borders were still closed, but I was still very excited with learning Norwegian. I was happy. I was learning a lot. I still wanted to go when basically the person that I was in contact with for this job disappeared. That is the part of the story which is very, very, very complicated. So I'm trying to simplify a little bit. This person at one point disappeared. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I was able to get in touch with someone else at that company. They really wanted me to go to Norway to meet them. But I couldn't go to Norway because the borders were closed. Until summer, when the borders reopened again, I was planning now to go to Norway when Norway decided to close its borders again. Actually, they didn't really close the border, that they decide after like a couple, 3 weeks, I think, after opening them, that anyway, the people going to Norway would have to go through a 10 days quarantine upon arrival in Norway. I already had bought my ticket and I already had scheduled the meeting with this company. I was arriving on the Monday and then I would have had the meeting with them on the Wednesday. I was not prepared for a 10-day quarantine in Norway. Of course, I had already my luggage packed. I had already bought my flight to Oslo. I had to cancel everything one more time. I think really destiny was sending me a very big message, but no, I wanted to go to Norway. I was able to convince the company to meet online instead, like not have this meeting in their office in Oslo. Everything went very well. The job that they were offering was exactly the job that I wanted, that I was qualified for. I had so many ideas. I was so happy, but still they wanted me to go to Oslo. I actually had to wait to see if the things in Norway were going to be better, but no, we just continued with this 10 days quarantine. At the end, we had a second meeting at the end of September. I was still very convinced to move to Norway until basically the company said, well, we have had a new budget meeting because of the new situation with the coronavirus. Things have changed a little bit, so we're able to offer you only this. And I was like, no. I don't want to talk too much about it. Let's say that the offer was not appropriate to the kind of position that they were offering me. I was a little bit disappointed and I decided to refuse. If destiny closes you the border twice, exactly the day before leaving, start thinking that maybe it's not destiny to move to Norway, Sarah. At this point, I start realizing that maybe it was okay to move to Norway at the beginning of 2020, but maybe it's not that good to move to Norway right now. Norway is a very rich country because of the petroleum industry, but this is also coming towards an end. They rely on the oljefondet, which is basically an oil fund. So they have invested all the revenue, all the surplus revenue from the petroleum sector of the past years in these funds. They are rich because they have invested all this money and put away all this money. Plus, it's a country that relies a lot on tourism. Because their borders are closed, basically, they don't allow tourists. They allow only people that have a reason to go to Norway to actually fly to Norway. There is not much tourism in Norway. This is why a lot of people actually are unemployed. There are a lot of people that are unemployed in Norway. The company are waiting for the cheapest person to show up. They know that they can get new people really cheap because there is so much unemployment. I am very qualified for the job that I was applying and I have a lot of year experience. I have a very stable economical situation in Switzerland, so right now I don't see why I should accept a job for which I'm not paying accordingly. I would have had a lot of responsibility, so I want really to receive an offer which is appropriate for the kind of position that I was offered. My dreams of moving to Norway were basically destroyed until one day later I received another offer from a company in Norway. The position is not really a position I wanted. I was really overqualified. I had a job interview with them online. They were actually very nice. They were offering me a lot, like in terms of relocation package. They were helping me moving my stuff to Norway. They were helping me with searching an apartment in Norway. But being a very low position, I did not accept this offer. Right now, I'm waiting to have another job interview for another company in Norway. I don't know what's happening now. Like during all these months of lockdown in Switzerland, I was still applying for a lot of positions because I didn't want it to rely only on that job offer that I had in Norway. So I was applying for jobs in Switzerland. I was applying for other jobs in Norway. In 1 week, I was contacted by other companies in Norway. Right now, I'm waiting to see what they are going to offer me. But on one side, I must say that I already put this Norway dream aside. I think that it's not really the time to move to Norway anymore because of the situation in Norway after this pandemic. I still have a very good situation here in Switzerland. That is why I think that in 2021 I will be staying in Switzerland. I've been applying for jobs in Switzerland anyway since I stopped working, but I was really focused on this job offer that I had in Norway. My decision is that for the year 2021 I would be probably remaining in Switzerland. I still would like to to live in other countries and experience other cultures. I think that I will still be applying for jobs in Norway and see if maybe with the passing of the time I will start receiving better offer. I will still keep learning Norwegian. I think it's an amazing language. I really like it so much. Maybe I will learn some other language. I mean, I really took less than 1 year to learn Norwegian, which for me is like crazy, and I really can't wait to learn another language. Maybe I will find a super cool job so I will not want to leave Switzerland. Who knows? For sure, destiny didn't want me to go to Norway in 2020. That is for sure. For now, for sure, I will stay here and I will make, luckily, a lot more content about Switzerland because I have actually a lot to tell and I can't wait to do it. Last thing, I'm really trying to reach 200 followers by end of December 2020. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumb up. Tusen takk at du så på videoen min. Vi snakkes! Ha det bra!